Hey guys, welcome back to the Code Bakery. This is part 2 of Wardrobe Selector. If you haven't watched part 1 yet, I highly suggest that you do. In this video, I'm going to be explaining how we can go about coding the method combos. Just to refresh your brain, combos is supposed to print out all the possible combinations of clothes that we can have. We can achieve this with the help of for loops. An idea that you might have had is to write out 3 separate for loops, one for each of the array lists here that we've written previously. I'm going to go ahead and say that this won't work. And we can test out right now. I'm going to write 3 for loops. Okay, shirts. Print line. Okay. This for loop might look a little bit different from what I've shown you previously, but this basically does the same thing. It's saying for each string inside of the array list shirts, you're going to print it out. So we can just copy this for each of the other array lists that we have. So one for pants, and the other one for shoes. Let's compile this and test this out. I've written a test class here beforehand so we can test out the combos method. And when we run this, we can see that it's printing out each individual clothing item, but it's not actually printing out combinations. If we want to print out combinations, then we have to do something a little bit different. We have to do something called nested for loops. Nested for loops is basically where we put a for loop inside of another for loop. And when you do a nested for loop, you want to make sure that the variable inside of the for loop, inside of the for loops are different from each other. So we can't have kk. So I'm going to make this variable named j instead. Let's do that. Let's compile this and let's test this out now. When we test it out now, you can see that it's actually starting to print out combinations of shirts and pants. And now let's put the last for loop in. For string L, making sure that this variable name is different from the other variable names. Shoes plus L. And if we compile this and run it one last time, we can see that we get all the different combinations of clothes that we can have. So we finished a combos method. Another method that might be useful is something like public void select one, where this method will return just one combination of clothes that we can have instead of all of them. So the way that we can actually do this is by selecting one random shirt from the shirts array list, one random pants from the pants array list, and one random shoe from the shoes array list. So I'm going to set 3 variables: int shirt index, int pants index, int shoe index. And these 3 variables will just represent the randomly selected clothes. So the way that we can randomly select something is by using something called math.random. Math.random will randomly return a value from 0 to 1 not inclusive. So inside of math notations, it looks something like this. And then we're going to multiply that by the size of the array list that we're going to be randomly selecting from. And then we're going to make that an int. So I'm not going to exactly tell you the math behind why this works. You can look that up yourself if you want, but basically it's just going to give us equal chances to randomly select an item from our array list. So we can copy this and paste it for each of the other variables. And we're going to make this pants.size and shoes.size. And so now that we have the indexes, we're going to do system.out.println shirts.get shirt index. And we're doing this here basically because this is an int. This int will just tells us where inside of the array list we want to access. So we're doing shirts.get at shirt index plus pants.get pants index plus shoes.get shoe index. Oh, and don't forget to put your spaces so it's a little bit more easy to interpret what's being printed. So if we compile this, we can see that there's an error. Oh, I forgot my semicolon. Let's compile this one more time. Shirts.size. Compile this one last time, and let's test this out. So here, let's do select one, and let's run this. And you can see here that we get one combination: blue shirt, ripped jeans, running shoes. Let's run it again. Red shirt, jeans, dress shoes, blue shirt, ripped jeans, running shoes. And so we can see that this is working properly. So that's going to be it for part 2 of this video. We wrote 2 very important methods for this mini project, combos and select one. And I hope you guys stay tuned for part 3, where we'll learn to make this a little bit more useful for our daily lives. I'll see you guys then.